It is such an honor to be here today with each and every one of you. There is talk all over the place online, in our friendships, on movie screens, wherever it is you look, around love, around relationships. And today I want to share in that by focusing on self-love and a very important anchor around creating more love for yourself, which will then flow over into more love and connection with other people around you in your life. I'm going to say that again. As you focus on creating a healthy structure and focusing on self-love, giving yourself love, that will overflow into other relationships that you have. This is a really important thing to trust and a really important thing to become aware of when you're working on healing your body, your mind, your spirit. So for me as a medical intuitive, I was taught in order to be able to heal my body from whatever was ailing me, I needed to do a bunch of different things. But one of the main things when it came to the energy of which I was focusing on wanting to heal, I had to pay attention to where I was choosing to put my time. That became a process for me around what is commonly called healthy boundaries. So for me, healthy boundaries is having the courage to say no to things that don't bring me joy, having the courage to say yes to things that do bring me joy, to allow me to feel connected and excited when I wake up in the morning, to be able to allow me to feel content and really joyful in my overall day-to-day life. There's a very powerful healing energy of excitement, of love, of gratitude that is incredibly gracious when it comes to helping our bodies and our minds heal. The thing is, for me, not saying yes to people all the time when I was first brought to the healing path brought up a lot of guilt, brought up a lot of shame, brought up a lot of insecurity, brought up a lot of fear. Everybody has different paths that they've come from. So when you start to say no to people, if something doesn't bring you joy, please don't assume you're going to feel awesome right after. You might feel guilty. You might feel ashamed. You might feel afraid. You might feel all kinds of stuff. That means you're on the right path. You choosing to focus on what it is that supports you is a critical piece of the healing puzzle. Here's another trick. Number one, if somebody asks you to do something, it doesn't mean it has to be a yes or a no. There might be a middle ground you can figure out for yourself. Another trick of saying no is understanding that when you say no, it gives someone else the opportunity in whoever's life is asking you for support to say yes. So that helps to build a bigger community for whoever it is that needs support and help. It's something oftentimes we're not used to thinking. We're used to thinking it's yes or no. It's if I don't do it, this person's not going to be able to do this. But I can tell you over and again, I have found that somehow most people magically find other people to ask for support and help when it is that they need that support and that help. This is such an important thing to understand. Put your oxygen mask on first. When you wake up at the beginning of the day, put your oxygen mask on first. Take some nice, slow, big, deep breaths and start your day in a conscious way. When people ask you things that are going to take time and energy to do things for them, to spend time doing things, make sure you take a pause, a space, before you actually commit to something. Ask yourself, is this something that genuinely I want to do at this time where I'm being asked to do that? For me, that's where a lot of it comes from. It's not yes, it's not no, it's not black, it's not white. It's, wow, that thing sounds fun, but man, I don't feel like doing it right now. I would love to do that, but that time isn't really working for me. Can we find a different time to do that? And finding a time that feels energizing and supportive to oneself is very, very, very important. When you start a new habit, and that new habit is designed to help you physically, emotionally, or mentally heal, you will start to feel judgment. You will start to feel ashamed. You will start to feel maybe upset. You might feel guilty. That was my big one. And fear was another big one for me. So when I would say no to something, or I would change the process to let it work in a way that felt right for me, what I would notice oftentimes is then I would doubt myself. I would feel guilty. I would feel ashamed. I would feel afraid. And I needed support and help reminding myself that that meant that I was doing genuinely what was an integrity for me that felt really good to me. Now, people will ask me, well, how did you know? How did you know something wasn't working for you? How is it that you knew you were saying yes to things that maybe weren't the best for you? I can tell you for myself, I would be kind of dragging my feet to go to events or to spend time with someone or to call someone or whatever it was. I would find that I would feel resentful. That was a big indicator. I was saying yes to people and situations that I organically didn't want to, but I felt like I should do, or I felt obligated to do. And I also felt really exhausted to the point where it's very, very hard for me consistently to get up and to feel motivated and to feel energized. So for me, by allowing myself the opportunity to first explore to see, is this something I genuinely want? At first, I didn't have those answers. It was just asking this consistent questions and paying attention to how I was feeling. And normally it was more of a negative way that I was feeling. As I got better and better at being able to not say black or white, yes or no, but kind of finding more of a middle ground that was supportive. For example, if my friend wants to go out to dinner, but I'm following a certain protocol, it's a struggle for me inside because I want to see my friend, but I'm on a strict protocol maybe for my health and my well-being. So what I do is say, hey, I'm on this protocol right now. I would really love to go to dinner with you, but I don't feel that that's in alignment with me, but I really want to see you. What else can we do? See the difference there? So that it can support me create what I want, say yes to that connection, and allow that integrated part start to naturally happen. By allowing myself to break through and not see things as all or nothing, it was very helpful from the point of learning to say no to things that didn't bring me joy in a way that they didn't. And it was a critical piece and necessity for my healthy physical body to realign so it could heal itself and so that I could feel more joyful, more connected, more in alignment in my mind also. So everything we say yes or no to has an impact on us. So if we're living our life saying yes to people around us, I want you to remember that a lot of times you just want to make sure that it's also saying yes to yourself. A lot of times we say no to ourselves and yes to others, and that's not really a good match. Now, some people will say to me, that kind of sounds selfish. If somebody's in an emergency situation, obviously it's not going to matter to me if I feel like doing something or not. I will show up for them the best that I can, allowing myself to distinguish and define if it's an actual emergency, because everybody has their own perspectives of that. Again, if I say no to someone, it gives other people an opportunity to say yes. If I say yes to someone, it allows me to create a connection and an awareness of what it is that I want. So it's a win-win across the board. But if we've been raised in guilt, in shame, in fear, oftentimes we say yes out of obligation, which creates resentment. That resentment can affect our physical energy, our mental energy. It can affect how our body physically works, how our digestion works, how our overall physical energy works, how our lymphatic system works. It's quite remarkable how our lifestyle habits, what we say yes to, no to, affect our physical energy. Give yourself permission to pay attention to how you feel before you commit. Try not to say yes right away to stuff. Allow yourself to say, let me check my schedule, get back in a bit. And then at the end of the day, circle back around after you've given a little bit of time. If your organic response is to want to say no, but then you feel guilty, that's the work right there. So when you do something in alignment for yourself and you say no to something and then guilt comes up, what that means is guilt has always been there, but that's been running the show. And now you get to work on what the actual issue is. And if you don't have a skill set, you want to work with a professional therapist, healer, someone to really help give you insight, some type of mentor to be able to help give you a support system to enhance when you feel that way and use that as a catalyst for some incredibly profound healing. Self-love and saying no. Self-love and saying yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself, putting a pause before you say yes to other people is going to hit it out of the ballpark when it comes to anchoring your energetics to be able to truly heal physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. It's a powerful process when you choose to heal yourself.